Ich bin sehr froh, auf dem diesjährigen Electric Ride einen der Steckerbiker getroffen zu haben, zu dem ich sonst nicht kommen würde. Das ist Daniel. Daniel ist Spanier, wohnt in Belgien und weil sein Deutsch nicht ganz so klasse ist, werden wir das Interview jetzt in Englisch führen. Ich hoffe, ihr habt Verständnis dafür. Viel Spaß dabei. Daniel, I'm so glad that I meet you here because I have to say I really like your videos.
Thank you very much.
They're in Spanish, but my school French, a little bit of Latin, and the captions, the automatic captions, help me to capture the meanings.
Okay.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Soy Daniel Montero, electroviajero de vocación, y me gustaría compartir mis experiencias contigo. ¿Te unes?
You own a Zero for how many years?
So I started in 2015, in June 2015, with my first Zero, which was a Zero SR 2015.
Okay.
With power tank. It was a demo version.
Yeah.
And I wanted to, I bought it from Sevilla. I had to go to Sevilla in the south of Spain to buy it because at that time there was not many shops in Spain to buy Zeros. And that was how I started with the Zero.
Okay. Yeah. When did you start riding motorcycles?
So for me, I've never been a passionate motorcyclist until I started with Zero.
The Zero was your first motorcycle?
No, it was not my first motorcycle. So first it started as a need to go back and forth to work.
Yeah.
So in Spain I live in Guadalajara, it's 55 kilometers. So if you draw an imaginary line between Barcelona and Madrid, then Guadalajara is here. It's really close to Madrid. Yeah. So I need to go back and forth every day to study first, and then when I finish the study to do my PhD. And it was 130 kilometers per day on highway. Okay. And I started with a gas bike. It was a lot of money, a lot of money and gas and maintenance and chains and everything.
What bike was it?
So I started first with the Dailium Daystar. It's like a custom 125. Yeah. Then I took my license, and then I moved to a Yamaha Dragstar 250, which is not a big bike, but was reasonable to go back and forth. Yeah. And but by the time I bought the Dragstar, I already knew about Zero, and I knew I wanted to switch to electric. But at that point, I was studying, so I didn't have money to buy a Zero. And as soon as I started my PhD, I got the grant from the government. The first thing I did was to call the dealer, okay, I want the Zero now. 2 months later, after signing the contract, I bought the SR. And I used it for until 2 years ago. When I moved to Belgium, I signed a different contract with more money. I said, now the SRS. That's how it works. Yeah, now the Zero SR has 167,000 kilometers.
167,000
kilometers, yes.
Quite a lot.
Yeah.
And does it still run?
Yeah, my girlfriend is using it now.
Okay.
So we keep making trips with it. So the last trip the bike did was to go to the electric night ride in Spain. So it traveled from Belgium to Spain back and forth without any problems. So the bike runs perfect as day one. Okay. I'm very happy with it. But this one has some stuff that I really like, so I prefer to do long trips with this one as well.
But you did some heavy modifications to the SR.
Yes, indeed.
What was it?
Well, first I started racing the handlebars, which is not much, but something. Then I changed to LED the lights, so it uses less power and you get like 2 kilometers extra range. You have to push for 2 kilometers, you think, okay, maybe it's not that bad. What else did I do? So then I started thinking about to go in. So I said to you earlier that I became a true motorcyclist with a Zero. It was at that time when at first I said, okay, this bike is just to go back and forth to work. And then my dealer told me, why don't you come to Burgos? It's like 200 kilometers away, not too much, but you start to think, okay, why not? So that's when I entered modifications, and it's the first thing I did was to put fast charging. And so I started with the quick charger, which is maybe there are some around like this, 1 kilowatt, the side cases. And with this I was able to go for a while, and then I started buying the Otten chargers, the TC chargers, 3.3 kilowatts. So at first, in the end, I ended up with 3 different chargers to charge at 10 kilowatts. So in 1 hour, more or less, I could charge the bike from empty to full and then do long distance. So what I did was to build like a huge metallic box that became quite famous back in 2019 in Stuttgart. And that I had the 3 chargers because the rest was for the clothes, the cables and everything. And once I moved to Belgium, I realized that my girlfriend was not going to travel with that. So I had to modify further the system to put all the chargers beneath. So I removed the original charger from the bike, and then I put the 3 chargers there. It's what people call the DigiNow configuration, because it's the belly pan comes from DigiNow, but the TC chargers I bought them here in Europe. And what else I did? So from the fast chargers I had, 2 of them needed CAN communication, so I developed a controller with an Arduino board. What else I did?
Quite a lot, I think. Quite a lot. So you're rather heavy into attending to electric bike gatherings all over Europe. What was the longest trip you've taken with this or the other electric bike?
So the longest trip in one go I ever took was when I went to the Stuttgart electric night ride in Stuttgart 2019. I just built my fast charging system with only 1 card. The charging card, I went everywhere, but not always in the most nice way. So in total I did 6,400 kilometers in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks?
Yeah, in 14 days. Because I went to Stuttgart, that was 2,300. I went back to Grenoble to see some friends. And then instead of going back to Spain, I said, well, let's go to Ireland to see my girlfriend. So I didn't tell her I was going. So I went up to Calais, I took the ferry, I crossed London, and then I went to Cardiff. And then I took another ferry to go to Ireland. And then I went back from Ireland to Roscoff, France, and then go back to Spain.
6,500 kilometers in 2 weeks is quite a distance that not every ICE bike rider would dare to. So
yes, indeed.
Wonderful. So when it comes to riding electric motorcycles, what's the meaning for you? What does it mean for you?
For me, it's freedom. Even though people try to think as you are always depending on the charging station's charging structure, the feeling I get, it's like something different. You have some time to, I don't drive fast. I'm not a person that likes to drive fast, I have to say that. So for me, it's more tourism. So I see it as an opportunity to discover places I've never been. Because normally to make the range longer, I tend to go to secondary roads, and there is where you find some interesting stuff.
Did you ever run out of power?
On purpose, yes, twice. But in the middle of nowhere, never. I've been able to do all my kilometers without getting stranded any single time.
What was the weirdest charging point you've ever experienced?
That's a very good question. So going to Ireland, I had to charge in a gas station, but that's nothing too much. I've charged in city halls. I had to unplug the ice machine and plug my bike for 5 minutes. But I had the owner told me to do so it was okay. It was not something illegal. Camping places, not. Maybe tomorrow I'll wake up and say, oh damn it, I should have said that. But as of now, I cannot think a very weird place. Well, no,
But as I understand, it hasn't always been the car charging station. When you travel, you will also use the domestic plugs.
Yes, especially at hotels. Maybe the weirdest one. So again, because everything happened going to Stuttgart, I was in the middle of France, in the middle of nowhere. There was supposed to be a charging station. It was working. But I only had 1 card and my card wasn't compatible. And I had like 5%. It was like, That's tough, huh? I need still 120 kilometers, so 5% is not the way to go. So then, if the charger was here, there were some works going on. I said, maybe there's a plug. There was not one plug, but 3 different plugs. So I plugged everything, and I could charge same as if I was charging on the Type 2, but yeah, in not so a legal way. So it was like 4 or 3 a.m. 3 a.m. It was 3 a.m. So there was nobody, and it's like, it's an emergency, so let's plug here. So I'm really grateful for that.
How's the electric bike community in Spain?
It's growing stronger, so most of it's now through Telegram. So we are like 300 users. Yeah. Not all of them have bikes. Yeah. But yeah, so most people came to the Electric Night Ride. Some people from that forum. But well, we have to be realistic. The prices of the bikes are the same in all Europe. Yeah. The Spanish salaries are not the highest. Yeah. Let's be honest. That's why I moved to Belgium. One of the reasons. And it makes zero less affordable for people. So you still have some problems. Not, let's say that it's not very common to spend 15K on a bike in Spain. It's considered very expensive. So that's the downside. But people are quite interested, yes. So
if someone would grant you a wish, what would you wish in order to propose the electric motorcycles all over Europe or Spain or else? What would you think is the main thing that should change?
The charging infrastructure, for sure. So I could take my phone now, we could count together, maybe have like 25 or 30 different apps to charge. Yeah. I have here like 8 different charging cards. So I think we need to work on that. Especially when most of the chargers that are being installed, or a large amount of them, are paid by the European funds. I think the European Union should take note of this and say, okay, stop this nonsense. We are going to have a universal card for all of Europe, and all the European citizens will be able to charge.
Könntest du bitte ganz kurz, danke dir.
Yeah. More question. Can I plug in my onboard charger somehow? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, this is supposed to be 22 kilowatt take. Can I borrow this extension? Yes, you can.
Okay, so we have to come to an end.
Okay. Yeah.
Daniel, it was a pleasure.
Oh, thank you very much for taking the time to interview me. It was a pleasure.
So I wish you the very best. I love your channel. You told me you will do some English content.
Yes.
I'm very eager to have a look at it, and I will put a link in the description of this video.
Thank you very much.
And for anybody who's interested in other videos of electric motorcycle owners, or as I call them, Steckerbiker, which means plug bikers.
Okay.
There's a playlist. I will put this in the, was heißt Abspann auf Englisch? In the Abspann. Okay. In the outro. Okay. So, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And have a nice ride back.
Thank you very much. Same for you.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Prost. Danke dir.